What's up, people? Welcome back to the Boxing Objective. As requested by some of you in the Objective community on Instagram, I'm going to be doing a video about Oscar De La Hoya. And I want to give a shout out to Jair, who raised some very interesting questions about Oscar De La Hoya, and I'm going to be covering them in this video. Oscar De La Hoya earned his nickname the Golden Boy by winning the Olympic gold medal in the 1992 Barcelona Olympics. Upon turning pro, he went on to have a really good career, achieving 39 wins, 6 defeats, and 0 draws. He achieved 30 knockouts and was a 6 division world champion, facing some top opposition along the way. Names including Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins, and Sugar Shane Mosley on 2 occasions. He decided to retire in 2009 and started a new chapter in his life in boxing. Golden Boy Promotions was born. Now, Oscar had big ambitions to clean up the sport of boxing and really wanted to end the Cold War that was happening between promotional companies behind the scenes. Former opponent Bernard Hopkins decided to partner with Golden Boy upon retiring and joined a noble cause with the intent to finally kick Don King out of boxing altogether. Now, Oscar and Bernard were not alone. They had assistance from the likes of Eric Gomez and Richard Schaefer, and managed to build a very healthy stable. And a lot of names that you hear in boxing now, some of them got their start at Golden Boy. To name a few off the top of my head, Danny Garcia, Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley was with them at one point, Canelo of course, Victor Ortiz, and even Deontay Wilder was with Golden Boy at one point. Now, you can't talk about Oscar De La Hoya without talking about his ongoing beef with Floyd Mayweather. Now, his beef with Floyd Mayweather has been going on since the pair were active and even since the both of them have retired. At one point, they was both with Bob Arum at Top Rank, and according to Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya never liked him from the get-go. In 2006, Floyd wanted out of Top Rank, and in order to get free of the contract he was in, he decided to buy it for, I think it was $750,000. He felt like Top Rank had him in a chokehold and he didn't like being controlled too much. And upon leaving, he decided to bet on himself and started Mayweather Promotions. And then in 2007, Floyd Mayweather fights and defeats Oscar, and then goes on to become the biggest pay-per-view draw, surpassing all of Oscar De La Hoya's pay-per-view records, and of course going his whole career undefeated. Now, with Oscar De La Hoya having the profile that he did at that time, defeating him was definitely a defining victory for Floyd Mayweather. After that fight, he was never the B-side in any fight ever again, and to make matters worse, once Oscar De La Hoya started Golden Boy, he was still hell-bent on getting one over on Floyd Mayweather and was determined to do it somehow. So one by one, over a number of years, he sent his best fighter at that time to challenge Floyd Mayweather with the idea in his head that this time, my guy is gonna win. He sent Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, Sugar Shane Mosley, Canelo, and Victor Ortiz. And as we know, Floyd was undefeated, so all of those guys came up short. Now, things started to get a little bit wobbly at Golden Boy. I guess as they do at all businesses, they have their times when, you know, you go through your rough patches and whatnot. But Richard Schaefer decided to leave Golden Boy and went to PBC, taking a lot of Golden Boy's talent with him. These guys no longer trusted where Golden Boy was leading their career, and they figured to further it and to improve it, they had to go with Richard Schaefer to PBC, which is Premier Boxing Champions. PBC, Top Rank, and Matchroom are like the 3 major players in boxing at the moment. It was said for many years that Richard Schaefer was the one really running Golden Boy, and judging by how many fighters followed him to PBC, I mean, you know, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? One fighter who didn't join the mass exodus to PBC was Canelo. Canelo remained with Golden Boy out of loyalty. Loyalty is a big thing to Canelo. Canelo's had Eddie Reynoso as his trainer since he was 15 years old. And I mean, if that's not loyalty, I don't know what is. But unfortunately for Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy, as time passed by, Canelo started to see for himself why people wanted to leave Oscar De La Hoya. Now, Canelo's career did do very well under Golden Boy. It did. And when the DAZN deal came over for that massive 300 and odd million that it was, Canelo was still under the Golden Boy banner, and Golden Boy joined with DAZN for broadcasting. Now, despite this world record breaking deal that Canelo had signed with DAZN, it didn't stop the problems that he had with Golden Boy floating to the surface. Canelo came to find out that Golden Boy had accepted and in some cases denied some deals without Canelo's knowledge, which led to a massive court case with Canelo winning and breaking free from Golden Boy and making his contract with DAZN null and void. Now, with Canelo seamlessly joining with Matchroom after that, and then going back and having his next 3 fights on DAZN, it was clear that his problem wasn't with DAZN, it was just he wanted to be free of Golden Boy. Now, Canelo has flourished since then, and I think it's safe to say that Eddie Hearn definitely has plans on making Canelo a global superstar, just as he did with Anthony Joshua. Now, this must have been a massive blow for Golden Boy, because the amount of money that Canelo was bringing in probably added up to a large percentage of their income. Now, with that, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that Golden Boy is now in some serious financial troubles. Don't know for sure, but when Oscar said this,
I want to make the biggest comeback in boxing history. So what I want to do is, I want to get 2 of these fights down under my belt, you know, and get the timing ready and everything. And then my 3rd one, I want to call out Floyd Mayweather.
Now, there's nothing wrong with the exhibition things. You know, there's been a lot of exhibitions recently. We've had Mike Tyson come back and fight Roy Jones. We've had the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul. I think Floyd Mayweather fought a Japanese kickboxer over there in Japan. Exhibitions are fine, but the fact that he's called out Floyd, it kind of says a number of things to me. First, obviously and foremost, he still wants to get one over on Floyd. Maybe he thinks he can beat him this time. And second of all, once you involve Floyd Mayweather, that means there's going to be a hell of a lot of money coming with him. Now, it's not uncommon for boxers to make a comeback and sometimes fight on longer than they should do. But a lot of the time it's because they've got some kind of financial worries outside of boxing. And sometimes it's sad to see. I mean, Muhammad Ali boxed on long after he should have retired. And I think Joe Louis even came back a few times when he really needed the money. And hey, you do what you gotta do. It is what it is. But I just suspect that the financial side of it is a massive motivator for Oscar De La Hoya in this situation. Now, sadly, it's no secret that Oscar De La Hoya has been battling with substances for many years, and was even absent at ringside during his fight of his career when Canelo faced Floyd Mayweather, because he was at rehab. Now, nobody's perfect. I mean, everybody's made mistakes, but sometimes you've just got to be responsible, because when you're the head of a promotional company of any kind, I mean, you're in charge of people's lives. This is their livelihoods. You know, these people have got to feed their families and stuff. So it kind of says a lot to your fighters about your character. And yeah, you know, you ended up losing a lot of talent as a result of the flaws in your character. Now, it is suspected by the wider boxing community that Oscar is still battling with his demons as we speak, due to his commentary that he did on the Jake Paul Ben Askren event on Triller, where Oscar was clearly inebriated and potentially was feeling the effects of other substances, and it was on display for the whole world to see. Now, we don't know what happened to him to make him this way, and I hope genuinely, man to man, that you find a way out of that situation. You know, with all of these exhibitions going on, I'm pretty sure that there's at least a couple out there that people would actually watch. I think maybe Ricky Hatton is even planning a comeback. I think that would be a nice little exhibition match that might muster up a bit of interest. In regards to Oscar versus Floyd for a second time, who knows? Floyd might be up for it. But sadly, I still think that Oscar De La Hoya isn't going to win that one. Either way, with whatever it is you decide to do going forward, we wish you the best of luck. And that's me on this one, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Boxing Objective. If you haven't already, like, comment and subscribe, and give me a little follow on the Boxing Objective Instagram page, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.